What's up everyone, and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'll be doing a double review of both versions of the Jetstar models, and that is the Jetstar 787-8 small airport playset and the A320 single plane. So I recently got these models off of eBay from Australia, and these models actually aren't too rare and are pretty common in Australia. But they can be more difficult to get in the US and in other parts of the world, specifically because they are only sold in Australia or from Australia. So you can buy both of these models off of eBay. Usually they will be more expensive since they would be coming from Australia, but they are somewhat still accessible. Both of these models were distributed by Daron, and unfortunately, when I got the Jetstar A320, I had gotten this model used from the US, so so I saved a little bit of money. But of course, it was a little bit damaged when I had gotten it. And I do not have the box, but pretty much the box design is relatively very similar to what the 787 is, and I just recently received the 787 small playset for Christmas this past week, so is a relatively new model for my collection. So both of these models are still being produced, and both of them have been updated to pretty much be fully painted, apart from a sticker still being on the back portion of the tail. But both of these models are still being produced. The A320 was the original model, which was made in, I'd say, either the mid to later 2000s, and the 787 was released probably around 5 years ago, within the past 5 years. So the A320 is only distributed as a single plane, and the 787 is only distributed as a small airport playset. So both of these models are distributed by Daron, and like I said earlier, they are pretty common to find in Australia, and usually they are sold in airports and small shops, and usually any websites that they are sold on, usually they are shipping from Australia. So if you're purchasing them from the US, or I think pretty much any other part of the world, that will be a little bit more money because you do have to pay for the shipping fee. But other than that, these models are definitely very nice, and they are two of the only other Australian airlines, any Australian kind of airline models that Daron makes. The other ones, of course, are the more well-known, common Qantas models. And unfortunately, I think the A330 and the 787 of the Qantas models are still being produced, but unfortunately they were taken off of Amazon around a year ago, or a little over a year ago now. So now both of those were updated to be pretty much fully painted. At least I know the 787 was, and that one is updated to have white wings as well. Both of those are updated to be fully painted, and can also be purchased from eBay from Australia. So, but with that being said, let's get into the review. So starting off with the airport playset. So up at the top, pretty much has the whole outside portion of the box and the really nice Jetstar orange coloring. And the top has the Jetstar with the white star logo right there, airport playset, and then die-cast metal, new livery designs, and plastic parts. And then pretty much the same exact thing displayed on the top there on the front face portion of the box. And then the outside covering of the clear plastic display case there is outlined in the Jetstar orange coloring, and then there is the stock image of the playset in the bottom right corner, and then as well as the Daron logo in the bottom left corner. And then the back of the box has a really nice Jetstar box art image with the 787-8 displayed right there in the center, and then the Jetstar bus with all of the signs displayed there as well. And the top has Jetstar, the Jetstar logo with orange star, and then the all day, everyday low fares, which is pretty much their slogan. And then the airport playset, die-cast metal, new livery designs, and plastic parts displayed there as well. And then the bottom portion on the left corner has the Daron logo with the Hobbyco, which is pretty much one of the distributors for this model, for both of these models in Australia. And then on the other portion, there is the Jetstar, all of the other stuff about the trading incorporated stuff. And then there is also the manufacturing date, which is July 4th, 2022. So this is a really relatively new model. And like I said before, both of these are still being produced. So Before I get into the review of the playset, I did just want to quickly do the review of the A320. So, this model was, I'm pretty sure this model was one of the original ones ever made because it does not have a manufacturing date underneath the tail wing there. But, so starting off with a review of the front part of the plane, there are the cockpit windows, and then there is a Jetstar.com logo with the all day, everyday, low fares, the slogan displayed underneath that. And the Jetstar logo on the older version of the A320 is definitely a lot smaller than it is, as you can see on the 787 on the update delivery. And I do know that there is a lot of what looks to be scratches on it. I did try to fix it with some silver paint, so it is slightly less noticeable. I didn't have the exact color, but I tried my best to fix it because lots of the paint was scratching off from when I had gotten it. But I did get this model for about $15, I think, which is still cheaper than what it would be from off of eBay from Australia. But if you do get one off of eBay, it will be in the newly updated fully painted model. And it actually is a really nice model to be fully painted since you don't have to worry about the stickers peeling off. So overall, I actually would suggest getting that now that I know that the A320 is also fully painted apart from the sticker on the tail. So, and then moving towards the back portion of the plane, has the Airbus A320 logo displayed there on the bottom part of the rear portion of the fuselage. And then in the really nice big bold lettering right there is the Jetstar logo with the orange star displayed there. And then there also are the really recognizable orange winglets, and then the nice, really nicely designed orange part of the undercarriage. So overall, the A320 is definitely a very nice model, and like I just said before, if you do want to get one of these, you can buy it off of eBay. Usually they are pretty much in stock most of the time. I think the A320 is a little bit more common to get than the playset, but both of them are still accessible. So, with that being said, like usual, I will pause the video real quick and take out the playset. So here is the Jetstar 787 airport playset, and like usual, I didn't take out the rest of the signs because they are pretty much the exact same ones that come in every other playset. But just like in my previous video with the Qatar A380, I did take out the runway sign because it is actually a custom one that is based off of one in real life. But what I actually noticed when I was taking this out is that I went to research it real quick to make sure that this was Sydney Airport, Sydney Kingsford Airport in Australia. And I'm not sure if they meant to do this, but SDY is Sydney Richford Airport, which is actually located in Montana. And SYD is Sydney Kingsford, which is in Australia. So I thought usually it's supposed to be the call sign for what the actual airport is, and I don't know if Daron made that mistake while they were making this plane, because I know if it was supposed to be Sydney Kingsford, it would be SYD, because SDY is located in Montana. So I thought that was just kind of funny. I don't know if that was a mistake or not, because I never noticed that before. But so anyway, starting off with the review of the plane. So overall, the Jetstar 787 is a very nice model, especially now that it is pretty much fully painted. The sticker on the tail, there still is the sticker on the tail, but unlike most of the other ones, this one is actually very nicely well placed, and you actually almost can't even tell that it actually is a sticker. So, but starting off with the review of the front part of the plane. So up the front, there are the usual 787 cockpit windows, and then one thing I'm not sure if I mentioned this in any of my previous videos of the 787 reviews. Usually the I'm not sure why, but kind of like how the landing gear is placed kind of a lot different than what all the other models are. Something with the undercarriage, the plastic undercarriage of the plane seems to be placed a lot different than all the other models, and usually there seems to be some sort of a gap right here. This model, you can't notice it as well, but if you do hold it up to a light, you can see some light shining through it, and there is a little portion of a gap. I know one of my, Polish Airlines 787s have it really bad, where there is a pretty good sized gap. I'd say it's probably like 1/3 of a centimeter wide, right here in that portion, which I don't know, that's kind of like a design flaw with this model. Usually they seem to be fine, but I know sometimes there can be that issue with these models. So, but anyway, moving on, there is the Jetstar logo right there, nicely fully painted throughout the whole part of the main part of the fuselage. Nice big bold lettering with the orange star right there to kind of compare between the A320 and the 787. Definitely is a lot difference in the sizes of the logo and in the coloring as well, since the 787 has more of just kind of like a flat, smoother kind of gray, and the A320 has more of a metallic silver. So, and then below that, there is their slogan, which is the all-day, everyday low fares. And then towards the back of the plane, there is the real registration number for a Jetstar 787, and that is VH-VKA with the Australian flag right next to it. And then below that is the Boeing 787-8 logo. And then on the tail, with the only sticker on this plane, is the Jetstar logo in the nice, really nice big bold lettering, just like how it is on the A320. So, and then on the engine casings right there, those are also painted with a nice gray coloring. And then the wings have a different kind of paint on it, more of a matte finish kind of paint with and then white paint. And then on the bottom of the tail wings is the manufacturing date, which is July 4th, 2022. So, pretty much is the review for the plane. So, once again, it is a very nice model. I definitely highly suggest getting it, especially now since it is pretty much almost fully painted. Probably in the future, they will update it to be fully painted, and there won't be a sticker on the tail anymore. But when I actually had originally got this model, I didn't know it was updated, so it definitely was a really nice surprise when I had opened up the model when I had gotten it. So moving on to the only vehicle that comes in this playset, since it is a small airport playset, and that is the double-decker bus. This is the second version of the buses that Realtoy makes, and the other one, I like to say the other one is more realistic. It's just the one floor generic bus, and this one kind of is the more fictional kind of bus. Right here has the all the small white portion of it, and then the other half, bottom half, is in the Jetstar coloring there with the Jetstar logo right there in the center. So fully painted like usual, pretty much for all the buses. They usually are fully painted. So yeah, pretty much is all for the whole playset. So since it's a small playset, not much else to review for it. So once again, I did not know that about the runway sign, that this, I don't know if they meant to make that mistake, or if I just made a mistake on that. But overall, I think that was pretty interesting. I didn't know that until I went to make sure that SDY was the correct airport when I had just put into flight radar just to see any flights going in and out of it. And when I saw them coming from Montana, I definitely had to double check that. But SDY is for Sydney Richford in Montana. So yeah, so pretty much is all for today's video. So thank you all so much for watching. And once again, I definitely highly suggest getting these models if you haven't gotten them yet, because since they aren't very popular, I would say, around the whole rest of the part of the world, and they are pretty much only common in Australia, I would highly suggest getting them before. You never know when they might be discontinued. I don't think they will be discontinued anytime soon, but just to be safe, I'd rather get them. I'd rather be safe than sorry. So, and both of them are updated to be pretty much fully painted, apart from the sticker on the tail. Overall, really nice models. So once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.